Welcome, I'm Donna Cooper. I want to say that I know some of you are in line for the delicious food, and I hope that you stay in line. You're fine. I hope everybody else will come on in and sit down. We're going to take a few minutes to celebrate some amazing people, and I want to kick off tonight by introducing you to an amazing woman. Soraya Cordero, come on up here.
Good evening to this amazing crowd of individuals. It's an honor to be here with all of you today. My name is Soraya Cordero, and I'm the proud chair of the Children First Young Professionals Advisory Council. We are passionate young advocates for kids who pour our energy and skills into supporting Children's First mission for improving the lives of all children. I know that all of you present share that same connection to our cause. So without further ado, let's open up this wonderful Children First 2023 Champion for Children celebration. I will share that I could volunteer for lots of things, and I do. But there's nothing more rewarding than volunteering for Children First. And joining the everyday fight for policies that deliver real change for all kids. You know, James Baldwin said, children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they've never failed to imitate them. And this we know very well. I'm so grateful to be in this space with you all tonight. And as I look out to this amazing group of individuals here, I know that you are the perfect people for our children to imitate. Tonight, we are bestowing our Champion for Children Award to Kelvin Jeremiah. President and CEO of the Philadelphia Housing Authority, a person that every child can and should look up to. We celebrate him because he is doing all he can to make sure that every child has a safe home to live in. As we said in our invitation for tonight, it all starts with a home. And like Kelvin, we know it takes so much more. Few people in the city really understand how much more it takes than the person I'm about to introduce. It is my honor to introduce someone who I believe qualifies for sainthood. Sister Mary Skellion, the founder of Project Home.
Tonight, we're just so fortunate to have Soraya and all the young leaders here. You are our future, and it fills us with so much hope to see you taking the lead tonight, as always. We all know that we need Children's First and organizations like Children's First now more than ever. Children are our most important and valued treasure here in the city of Philadelphia. An investment in children is the most important thing we can do. And that's why I'm so excited, humbled, and honored to be here tonight to help introduce one of my treasured friends and really amazing leaders that I look up to every day, Kelvin Jeremiah. Kelvin, look one more hand for Kelvin. Kelvin leads the fourth largest housing authority in the country. PHA is the single most important agency that is developing and expanding affordable housing for families, children, and vulnerable populations. That is such an important thing to do right now in the city of Philadelphia when the housing affordability is shrinking every single day. His approach to housing communities expands beyond affordable housing. Kelvin is creating communities that provide access to good education and are safe from violence. He believes that protecting our children is fundamental to creating a truly great city. Calvin is recognized as an innovator and one of the best leaders in the nation. I will go as far to say he is the best leader of a housing authority in our whole United States of America. We are so fortunate to have Calvin at the helm. Okay, the last thing I just want to say, because I know I'm already talking too long, is that one of the things that Calvin really helped us with that was challenging was the development of the Gloria Caceres residence for LGBTQ youth. There was a lot of barriers, but Calvin worked through them and enabled us to partner with him to make affordable housing for LGBTQ youth a reality. And now I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, the city's former managing director and Pennsylvania's former Secretary of Public Welfare. Estelle Richmond is truly not only a local icon, but a national icon for her tireless efforts and leadership that we've had so many
Good evening. You know, this is one of my favorite events because I get to see so many old friends that I don't get to see. We're enough past the pandemic that we can actually give each other a hug. So it's just a great opportunity to renew friendships. About 12 years ago, I was still working at HUD as the Chief Operating Officer. And we had at that point in time, we had put the Philadelphia Housing Authority under receivership because there were so many problems across the board, from finance and auditing towards procurement. Just about every part of this particular system we thought was broken. So we had it in receivership. We then hired a receiver. We actually hired two people. We hired a receiver. And at the same time, we hired an audit and compliance officer. That was Calvin. And we brought in both at the same time. Unfortunately, the receiver we chose was not quite the ideal we thought he would be. And before I knew it, Calvin had called me and said, "We have a problem." And indeed, we had a problem. So my sort of retribution on Calvin was saying, "You're it." I solved my problem. Calvin became the acting receiver, the acting CEO, and about probably a few months later, he became CEO of the Philadelphia Housing Authority, and that was in 2012. We are now 11 years past, and he has proved to be probably the best CEO of a housing authority in the country. I would dare say in the group here tonight, and probably in the city, I probably have had the longest relationship with Calvin. And he has said it many times that I don't let him leave. I'm holding him tight to the city. And I think that's greatly appreciated by many people. Calvin also is very shy in terms of he doesn't like attention. He doesn't like a lot of fuss around him. But I would tell you he set the stage for much of that by what he's done for other people. He's particularly proud of the youth that I think have learned to grow and change within the confines of housing, public housing. Because at the base of his belief, and what ties us so tightly together, is that he really believes that at the base of stability for any family is stable, affordable, and accessible housing. Without affordable, accessible housing, you can't have stability in healthcare. You can't have stabilities in school. You can't have crime-free communities. You really can't have a home if you don't have stable housing. And his vision has been to create as much stable housing in Philadelphia as we possibly can. And that meant not only expanding the number of houses, and I do believe, and there are many members of his board here, he's reached the goal of 5,000 new units within the city. He has also reached his goals of home ownership. Publicly sustainable housing should lead you to home ownership because that's what establishes a pattern of wealth. And that's where we want people to be. We want them to be able to not only live in housing, at some point we want them to own that housing. And Calvin believes that. He wanted to make sure that people had access to jobs and how to get and maintain those jobs. I can remember showing someone around one of the housing areas we were in, and they said, "Where are all the people?" And Calvin said, "They're working." And they were shocked. He said, "They work." And people still had the old stereotype that people don't, but they do, and they're helped. And if you have working parents, what else do you need? Child care. So he pushed child care that parents could get and to have, and that's safe and affordable. And he put in after-school programs, because when parents work, sometimes they get home late. So you need after-school programs so kids have things to do. But probably the program he has that is closest to my heart, and I track it every year, is his programs that make sure every single person, child, who's living in public housing or supported housing has access to college if they want to go. Over this period of time, they have put together a little over $3 million, I think now, as funding for kids to go and have college paid for. He also dabbled in education. They still have the bulk school. They're still supporting it. They're still making sure it has all of the amenities that make school valuable and important for children and their parents. And it's a city school. And we like that. So, I'm going to echo the words of Sister Mary. We have a special person who people can look up to. We have a person who really is going to make me pay for this for the rest of my life. But we also have a person who cares deeply about housing, deeply about every single person that lives in that housing, and deeply feels pain when he hears or reads about someone who's homeless. So together, actually, Sister Mary and Calvin Jeremiah are going to make sure the future of our kids is going to be not homeless, in housing, moving towards home ownership. So with that, I want to introduce you to my friend and colleague, Calvin Jeremiah.
Good evening, everyone. I am Calvin Jeremiah, an innocent boy from the islands. I'm incredibly shy, as Estelle said. And Estelle, you and Sister Mary have told all my secrets. You've come out and you've exposed me. And perhaps some of you might be wondering if I am, in fact, an innocent boy from the islands, given the work that I've done. But let me start by saying the work that I do, that I'm privileged to do, is not about me. It can never, ever be about me. It's about service to others. And I am incredibly privileged to have had the good fortune to work with some of the best people in the business. What Estelle didn't tell you is that when the agency was coming out of receivership, I did not apply for this job. She didn't mention that. The secretary called, I'll tell you a quick story. The then secretary called and said, "Calvin, we got a problem, we want you to stay." I had actually resigned. And I said, no, that's not what I signed up for. I want to move. I want to leave. This city is crazy. The people are crazy. And I said, I'm out. He then said, well, Kelvin, what can we do to keep you? And I had spoken to Estelle, who was his champion, and she had told me that she was retired. So I went with the only thing that I thought he could not deliver, Estelle Richmond. I said, if you can get Estelle to come back and be the board, then I will stay, and I will stay until we get a new person. The next morning, he said, oh man, Kelvin, you're asking for a lot. Estelle is retiring. She has already announced. And I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. And so I was happy. Finally, I get to leave Philadelphia. 6 o'clock the following morning, I'm going into work. The phone rang. It's an unknown number. You know those folks in Washington, their numbers don't show up. I ignored the call. I knew it was a DC number. I ignored the call. They call again. I'm like, come on, it's like 7 o'clock. Folks know I'm very unpleasant in the morning, to be honest. Who would I be calling? On the third call, I'm like, okay, it must be an emergency. I'll answer. And in my amazement, it was Estelle Richmond. She said, good morning. And so Estelle is calling me at 7 in the morning. She said, good morning. I said, hi Estelle. She said, Kelvin, I'm back. I hung up the phone. I felt like I was bamboozled. The gods were speaking to me in some other kind of way. But let me just say that it has been such an honor to have been here these 13 going on 14 years, Estelle, and for all of the work that I've been able to do with Sister Mary, who it has been an honor to work with on so many different projects. Thank you for those kind words. The only reason I did those jobs with you, Sister Mary, is because I thought I was going to get closer to God. I'm still hoping that I'll get closer to God. So there are 2 people in all of Philadelphia whose calls I take. No matter where, what time of day, it's Estelle Richmond and Sister Mary. And in truth, I've said to them both tonight that I won't be taking their calls much more. Because she set me up for this. She knows how much I hate these things. No pun intended. Because I don't like being the center of attention. Children First has been leading, of course, the fight for children across our great city for over 43 years. And they would have selected me for this incredible award. My heart is full. I want you to know that I'll accept it, and I will put something up reflecting that award. But make no mistake about it, I will not be giving it back. I'll be putting it on my resume too. So thank you, Estelle. The one other commitment that Estelle made, by the way, in my remaining in Philadelphia, was agreeing to meet with me once a month, every month, for therapy. And I'll dare say that she has kept that promise. We're meeting next week. So thank you for that. I would like to mention 2 of the big wins that Children's First have had in championing for $1 billion. That's $1 billion in state funds for Children's First and for the children last 3 years. And that's what almost $200 million more than in the past for pre-K, for example, another historic win. But this is personal to me. This is incredibly personal to me because, like so many of the people that Children First, and Nicole, I'm going to apologize, I'm not reading your script, forgive me. For all of the children that Children First serve, their history, their lived experience resonates with mine. They are the kids who are marginalized, abandoned, neglected, who feel that they don't have a place in the world, who folks, adults, perhaps even some of you, might believe that they cannot learn as they did with me. Because I was born to a 16-year-old child herself, who by the age of 20 had 4 children that she couldn't take care of, and so my great-grandmother had to step in, her grandmother, to raise us. And I can tell you that along the way, I wish she had somebody like an Estella Richmond, or a Donna Cooper, or a Sister Mary, and so many others who would be there to help her and to say to her, yes, you've been marginalized, and yes, you've been victimized, and yes, you've been raped of your innocence at a far too early age. But that's not where it stops. That you have the potential to accomplish so much more than your victimhood. And so my great-grandmother taught me that I was never a victim. She taught me that I could read. She taught me that despite the disability that I was born with, my folks said that I couldn't learn, that she insisted that I go to school. And like so many of my contemporaries who have already been in school, I started at 9 years old. My first time, the biggest kid in the first grade. Well, they didn't know what to do with me. They didn't know that the behaviors that I was exhibiting wasn't because I was a bad kid, because my great-grandmother said there was no such thing as a bad kid. I actually believed her. She said I was deserving to be in these classrooms. And I had the good fortune to come to the United States. And I learned the darndest thing, that to fulfill my responsibility as a kid, that all I had to do was get good grades. And you guys would actually pay me to do that. Right? And so I sought out to do just that. But I'll tell you that all of those experiences have informed the work that I do today. And one of the kids, some of them are here, please stand up. They're the PHA scholars. They founded Philly Seeds, which was a responsibility for Estelle and I to convince residents that it was something that's worthwhile doing. They said, no, Kelvin, there are no kids who are PhD scholars. We have had now over 480 PhD scholars that are going to schools like Penn, Drexel, Temple, Cheney, and they're excelling. They're graduating. And they're coming back to Philadelphia, making a difference in the world. But you know what else? They're not coming back to public housing. They have found social and economic mobility in the realest way. So that's why I do this work. That's why Donna Cooper does this work. That's why Estelle and Sister Mary and others do this work. So I would be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity, because I cannot do this work alone. I choose not to do it alone. And I want to just recognize the PHA staff who works day in and day out. Please stand up and be recognized. Two of my 9 bosses, Herb Wetzel and Asia Cody, thank you for being here. And we have some resident leaders here as well. Thank you. Thank you for demanding more from PHA and from me. You deserve that. And Estelle, I got you. Thanks, everybody.
Hard not to follow, but good evening. My name is Joyce Soto, and I am a co-chair of the Children First Events Committee, and it's so wonderful to see you all here at this amazing gathering. Tonight, we also gathered here to celebrate amazing volunteer leaders who fuel our work. Please join me on the stage. From Philadelphia, Khadija Sabir. A tireless advocate for making sure our children get the early learning services they deserve. From Delaware County, Cynthia Isles. A powerful parent advocate who drops everything to bring the cause of educational justice to Harrisburg. From Montgomery County, Angie Hinton. Who is devoted to making sure young people have a voice, engage in our civic process, and use the power of their vote to improve their lives. From Bucks County, Valerie Hamilton. Who is always ready to make the cause of affordable child care understood by lawmakers, and we mean always. From across the region, the team of volunteers from Wills Eyes Hospital continue the great tradition we started of free eye care for children known as Give Kids Sight Day. We would also like to thank the young people at Children's Village for the adorable centerpieces and Sim Lo and Suzanne Rankin. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. I am Javier Suarez, and I'm so proud to be the incoming chair of the Board of Directors of Children First. It turns out I have some really big shoes to fill. John Summers' term as president ends in 13 days. And under his leadership, we've doubled the diversity on our board. Nearly doubled the size of our staff. Completed an inspired five-year plan. Launched Parents Empowered for Change. Launched our youth leadership program, Justice in Education. Restarted our work to reform the juvenile justice system. And wrapped up an unprecedented number of wins for kids. John, it is safe to say that you have left your mark here at Children First. So please, everyone, help join me in giving John Summers a warm round of applause.
Thank you very much, Javier. Good evening, everybody. You know, there's a confusion sometimes between causation and correlation, Javier. It's really been a privilege and an honor to serve as chair of the board for these past 4 years. And I am so confident, Javier, in leaving the presidency with you. And I think it's terrific. I think it's wonderful. The work that you're going to do with our colleague members on the board, with Donna, and with the staff. It's just going to be a terrific next half decade. We're going to break with tradition today. We have a surprise tribute. We have a surprise tribute because we've had an extraordinary event that happened several months ago. Mike Churchill, could you come up, please? Mike and I talked about 30 years ago. Mike and his able colleague, Dan Acklesberg, who unfortunately was invited but got COVID from his son, so was enjoying us tonight, worked tirelessly at the Public Interest Law Center of Philadelphia, together with the Education Law Center and private firm O'Melveny & Myers, tirelessly for more than 7 years to win the lawsuit for fair education in Philadelphia. And when I say win, I mean win. What did they do? Over a, how many week trial? 4 months. 4-month trial. They masterfully educated a terrific chief judge of the Commonwealth Court, demonstrating how Pennsylvania funds its schools and how it harms our children and harms disproportionately those who are from low incomes and distressed communities. So masterfully did they craft their case that the judge rendered a 786-page decision saying why it is that children were right and children should win. We are so thankful for the work that you and your colleagues did. There was a dream team, a dream law team that won this case. They did it through brilliance. They did it through dedication. They did it through probably a lot of sleepless nights, and they did it in so impressive a way that I think the odds are that that decision is not going to be appealed, and it's fine. Now, there will be other chapters. This is what we in the law refer to as a liability finding. There is yet a Act 2, which is what the remedy will be. And this is not the place to speculate about that. But why don't you all raise your voices so that those in Harrisburg can hear that that remedy is going to be one that actually does provide a thorough and a fair education for the students throughout the city. A lot of people owe you a lot of gratitude. I know you did it. I know you did it because it was the right thing and it's consistent with what you're all about. But a lot of people right now in schools across the Commonwealth owe you a lot. And those people will grow out of the education system and will be more productive and happier citizens of this Commonwealth and elsewhere because of this work. And there will be later generations of students who will benefit from this as well. And finally, as a lawyer who reads old cases, not just new cases, in 10 years, in 25 years, in 50 years, and in 100 years, this will be a decision that will be read. This will be a decision that is liked in an area that has not been as favorable to people in need as it should be. So thank you. On behalf of this community of people, the community throughout Philadelphia and the Commonwealth, a deep thank you.
I need to say thank you back, and I need to repeat what John said about your role in the future. We've had tremendous support from the PCCY, Children's First, as it is now, but we need it again. You know, I did a lawsuit. I know what courts want. We're now in the world of politicians. We don't have the same rules. The only rule is whether they fear the voters enough. The only rule. And you are the voters. And you have to create the fear that if they don't do it right, they will have consequences. And you have to give them the courage that they don't have now. That's why it took so long, because the politicians who knew what they should do didn't have the courage to do it. Right? You have to give them the courage. That's your job. Thank you so much.
So go forth and vote. All right, we're winding up soon. We're about looking backwards, and we're about looking forwards. And who better to talk about what it's like to move forward is my good friend, Michaela Coleman. Come on up. A very inspiring student who you may not remember, but we met at a conference that we had earlier this year. The floor is yours.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michaela Coleman, a senior at George Washington Carver High School of Engineering and Science. And a freshman at Penn State main campus in the fall. changes that will give us kids access to mental health services, better schools, and finally some more teachers that look like us. I heard it was amazing, and I know everyone is working hard to get those changes in place. Also, last fall, Children's First put out a call to Philly parents, youth, and organizations that care about kids to work together to make kids' issues top-tier issues in the race for the city of Philadelphia's 100th mayor. The Kids Campaign kicked off this campaign with a press conference where 5-year-old children sang a song they wrote about what they wanted the next mayor to do for the city. It was not only adorable, it showed everyone that even the youngest kids in the city know that our politicians need to do so much more for us. And let me tell you how the Kids Campaign ended. 11 other students and I designed a candidate debate. We figured out the format, came up with the questions, and delivered the questions. We ran the entire thing. Many of us who volunteer for this campaign can't vote yet. So it was important for us to be sure those who could heard directly from us what needs to be changed so our lives are better. And they heard us. Because our debate was aired on WDAS and Power 99. Here's the question I asked the candidates. As mayor of Philadelphia, you will lead a city that is very diverse. 39% Black, 33% white, 16% Latinx, and 8% Asian. Philly is also very unequal and very segregated neighborhood by neighborhood, and this hits people in Philadelphia differently. We want to know what you'll do as mayor to make sure that children across Philadelphia, no matter race, class, or gender, can thrive. How will you make sure to connect with all of the communities in Philadelphia different from your own? We thought a lot about our questions. We didn't just want to get candidates on the record. We wanted them to think deeply about the things that are important to us. But that's not the only reason that I'm up here. And I know other people in this room share this same sentiment. I'm here for the students who aren't comfortable with using their voices to combat systematic injustices that prepare us for routine and conditioned thinking instead of thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box and challenging systems that are crushing Black and brown communities. Systems that work against the people. I'm here for students who don't have the basic necessities to adequately learn because schools are prioritizing metal detectors instead of us. Philadelphia's youth are tired of broken promises from politicians that not only fall short of their campaign goals, but completely disregard them. Politicians who make an active choice to keep Philadelphia a poor city. Now that the primary election is over, all of us have a ton of work to do to get Sherelle Parker or David O to deliver for kids like me. I trust everyone in this room will help get that work done. And speaking of helping kids succeed, can Zorda come to the stage with me? Well, Michaela has set the stage for the rest of the night. But stay here with me and keep me company as we speak to the rest of everyone here today. I want to take a moment to not only highlight Michaela, but all the other youth that have been advocating. All the amazing work that you have done is so inspiring. I want to thank you for everything that you continue to do and will continue to do. And I just want to take a quick moment to have you all clap for the youth that have been advocating consistently and most recently with the Kids Campaign. Before we close out tonight, we need your help to make sure Children First has the resources needed to keep amazing kids like these in the front of the work that we do. Tonight, we're asking for your help to make sure that kids are at the forefront of these fights, because it is true that they are our future. We need to make sure that their wisdom is nourished, that their voices are heard, and their leadership skills are developed. So I'm gonna ask y'all to do me a little favor. So I need you all to pull out your phones, and I need to see them. I need to see them. I need to see them. Thank you. You see them? Okay, thank you. And if you're old school and you have a checkbook, we take those to the cash. Will you please donate to support our justice and education program? Yeah. We will build upon the successes of our Parents Empowered for Change program, and will train and support youth leaders who want to improve their own education outcomes. So, John set the stage up. It's important that we're advocating in Harrisburg, right? And I can almost bet that all of us do not have the time to do that. But we may have the finances, and we may have the time to make a contribution today. So that you know, if we raise $500, that's how much it would cost to cover the cost for a training, each student, and the expenses they incur advocating for their lives, especially transportation to county council and Harrisburg meetings. Again, that's just one student, $500. Now, if you're having some struggles with donating online, we do have an opportunity to text. If you text 50155 and use the keyword 2023 celebration. Once again, 50155 2023 celebration. There are volunteers around the room. There are volunteers making their way around this room right now to help you donate with the QR code. There's one there. There's one over there. There's one over there. And then also there's QR codes in your book also. I think it's on the third page. It's on the third page. And contributions, small and large, add up to a brighter future for all of us. You can give us $20 and 5 others do the same. We're 20% of the way there for one student leader. If you give us $1,000, we tap the power of 2 more students. If you help us reach the goal of $10,000, and I want to point out there's a lot of people in this room, and I don't see why we can't reach $10,000 tonight. So make that clear. But if you help us do that, that will not only help 1 or 2, but 20 students, and they will join the ranks of our powerful movement for youth justice. Thank you all for doing what you do for our kids. To close out, please welcome another one of our young professionals, Katie Chisnell.
Good evening. Closing this out is a big responsibility. So, first and foremost, can we give another round of applause for these amazing people over here? All right. Okay. So my name is Katie Chisholm, and I'm the co-chair of the Children First Events Committee with Joy, who you heard from earlier this evening. And I have the good fortune of thanking our top-tier sponsors for supporting this wonderful celebration. So first, the Philadelphia Housing Authority, the Pennsylvania State Education Association, Altera Property Group, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Hangley, Aronchick, Kibblin, and Siegel, Labor's Union Locals 57 and 332, the Michaels Organization, Parker Phillips, the Philadelphia Foundation, Sustainable Water Resources Management, and TD Bank. So thank you all for your contributions. I also have the good fortune of thanking the students from Masterman High School for providing this amazing music. These 2 folks over here. So thank you for all you've done this evening. And of course, thanks to each of you for your support and showing up up for our kids. Please look over the program and on the signs throughout this space to see all of our sponsors and join us in thanking for the support to make this evening possible for the amazing champions for kids we honor this evening. So, this is the time of the year when we need all of you to join our voices so decision makers in Harrisburg and our local councils can prioritize investments in children. Please make that a priority for you all. Also, look out for our Take Action Tuesday emails and check out our other events on social media channels, Children First PA, and on our website. And join us in the halls of power for making the case for children. We need your voice. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you to all the amazing volunteers involved in our board and also who put this event together. And the great Children First staff. Can you raise your hands? The amazing Children First staff who put this together. Wave, Stephen, you're not waving. Wave. Kenya, wave. Everybody wave. Priyanka, Caroline, Stephanie, Symbol. What a team. It's a dream. They're a different kind of dream team. They are the real dream team that's going to make the lawsuit that Michael Churchill won a reality. And you can help that dream team tonight. On your way out are these postcards. You would never be at a Children First event where you are not asked to tell your lawmakers what you think. If you sign your postcards and you don't know your state rep or state senator, and you write a postcard tonight that just simply says, it's time to fund the schools, you don't need to get too detailed. They get the message. Leave your postcard with your address on it. We'll deliver it to your state rep and your state senator in Harrisburg. We go every week. We're there when they are there. Thank you very much for coming.